Welcome to Faith, Fiction, and Folklore, or as we like to call it, the Trtlchief Podcast. Now, today we are going to be talking about Hollywood and the cults. Apparently, Hollywood's big into cults and stuff. You hear about this quite a bit, off and on. And Trevor wanted to talk about it because he found this video by Terry Crews here. Let me pull this up really quick. Yeah, he found this video by Terry Crews he wanted to show. And I also just finished, perhaps providentially, a book by Jay Dyer, who I don't agree with all the time, but, you know, he's got some good thoughts. So I was reading his first book on Hollywood, Esoteric Hollywood, and I finished it. And he actually had a quote from somebody here that I wanted to read before we got into the Terry Crews thing. So if you'll indulge me for a minute, I need to actually switch my windows up here to pull up my Kindle app, which is, well, it is what it is. So, all right, so we'll start by reading this here. This is a quote. I'll just start in Jay Dyer's book here. As Kenneth Anger noted, professional do-gooders branded Hollywood the new Babylon, whose evil influence rivaled that of the ancient city. Banner, headlines, holier-than-thou editorials would equate sex, dope, and movie stars. Yet, for the vast public out there, Hollywood was a magic 3 syllables, invoking the wonder world of make-believe. To the faithful, it was more than a dream factory where one young hopeful out of a million got a break. It was dreamland somewhere else. It was home of the heavenly bodies, the glamour galaxy of planet Hollywood. The religious verbiage of Anger is accurate. It is a veritable polis of initiatory esoteria, where the holy sites and rites of Hollywood are not the altars of mainstream religion, but another ancient religion, ultimately summed up in the epithet of the ancient mysteries. The ancient mysteries comprise the competing religious practices of the empires of old, but the one empire that seems to have achieved the most appropriate association with Hollywood is Babylon, the gate of the gods. So it's basically, I'm going to go ahead and read this last paragraph here. This is relevant. So Babylon was the ancient pagan empire prominent in biblical prophetic works as an enemy of God's people due to their idolatry. Hollywood is no different, functioning as the propaganda arm of the Antichrist media establishment, intent on re-engineering society into its alchemical opposite, unleashing the destructive forces of cultural Marxism and death. So, basically, these guys are into the occult because they hate Christianity. And, you know, Marxism's more than happy to utilize that. And so, yeah. So, we'll go ahead and stop there. That was from Jay Dyer's Esoteric Hollywood. It's an okay book, you know. I don't agree with everything that's in it, but I think that he is right about there being certain cultic ties. I don't know how much validity I give to their beliefs. I kind of think it's just angry teenagers wanting to tick off their dads, but these people believe it. And
in Hollywood?
Yeah, in Hollywood. Yeah, these people believe this cultic crap, so and apparently people are affected by it. So let's see what Terry Crews has to say on the matter. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, Terry Crews. Well, this is the one I shared with you.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I only got through about
from Weinstein to all what's happening in Hollywood.
Sorry, Trevor, what?
Go ahead and skip to... Hold on, let me pull it up on my end. Where did I leave off?
I'm assuming it's up here in the beginning. What you're referring to. Well, I'm going to let it play until you find your spot, okay?
Is about an abuse of power. On the people who've been assaulted.
238.
238. Okay, here we go. All right, we got We'll have to start at 226. All right.
Studio quality AI images.
Hey,
in
look, an
seconds.
ad.
One payment,
AI ad.
unlimited use forever.
And
right.
against sexual abuse rings in Hollywood, as unfortunately a victim of it himself. He's a successfully recovered porn addict. He's been married for a whole 35 years. He truly is a different breed, and I can't wait for you to get to know him through this video. Again, this is Make Faith Famous, and let's get into it now.
I was sexually assaulted by Adam Bennett, who was the head of the motion picture department. Very, very powerful man who has access to studio heads. What they do affects every part of the business, from producers, writers, actors. They own finance companies, the whole thing.
And did you know him before the party?
And I did not know him. I heard of him. We had never, ever even had a conversation, okay? So I just heard, and actually, I was actually looking forward to meeting him.
But instead of a professional meet and greet, Cruz claims Bennett leered at him from across the room.
And he looked me in my eyes, and he was sticking his tongue out overtly sexually to me. I mean, it was no mistake that this was a sexual type tongue move. And I'm going, and I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm thinking, is this how this guy breaks the ice? I don't understand what this is.
Confused, Cruz said he reached out to shake his hand.
I reached my hand out, and he takes his right hand and under mine and immediately squeezes, grabs my genitals, and I'm jumping back like, hey, whoa. And he jumps back, and he still does this tongue stuff, and he's making weird noises, and then he comes back again and grabs me again. And I slap his hand away, push him back more forcefully, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Adam! Also at the party, Cruz says, was Adam Sandler.
So, did you gravitate towards this because this was kind of like... Do you think the guy was mentally ill, or do you think he was just really bold, or do you think he was like possessed or something, or what do you think? Because that is very bizarre behavior.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Terry Crews?
No, the guy that went after him.
No, it's just what Hollywood does.
You just think they're that perverted? Okay.
Hollywood is just that perverted. They do whatever the heck they want to the people, and they basically make them a mockery at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like their initiation. Kind of like,
right.
You know, a lot of colleges.
Yeah.
You have an initiation, and it's meant to mock you, make fun of you.
It's meant to see how far you'll go, because there's levels to this thing. And if you'll go through one level willingly, then you go through another, then you go through another, then you go through another. And they just basically do this kind of stuff to see how far down the rabbit hole you'll go.
Yeah, and I've got another channel that I like to listen to. It's Nik Keswani. He's Big Nick, and he's got a lot of videos on this that we could actually do a deeper dive if you want at some point.
Well, we'll see how this goes. Is there anything directly related to the cult, or did Adam Sandler do something lewd here?
I've got another shorter video. It's 4 minutes that I just remembered about while we were doing this. That I could send you.
Okay.
About Ariana Grande, if you want.
Okay, yeah, we can do that. So that was the video on Cruise. That was all that was on the Cruise video?
There's a whole lot more.
Is this about the sexual assault? I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that on YouTube. The assault? Is it mainly about him being attacked by people, or was?
Well, I got about 10 minutes into it, and was like, hey, I think this would be a cool topic, or well, not cool topic, but a topic we could discuss.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess are we done with this one, or do you want to go on to something else? Because we got...
Yeah, keep playing it.
Keep playing it? Okay, so we'll do it a little bit longer. All right.
One of Bennett's clients and Cruz co-star in the movie Blended.
I went immediately to Adam Sandler, and I'm like, Adam, come get your boy. Something's wrong with him.
Did Adam see any of this?
Well, first of all, Adam was talking to someone else. He looks over and he sees Bennett giggling and laughing. And he's like, I said, dude, this dude, he grabbed my junk. And Adam's like, what? What are you?
Adam Sandler did not return our request for comment about the alleged incident last year.
Mike, I'm telling you, man, I know how close I came to losing it all. Just when you get emasculated.
So Adam Sandler basically didn't believe him.
Yeah.
Is that what I'm getting? Okay. Well, that's a little bit of a clickbaity title, man. That's like, yeah, like I remember Terry Crews being assaulted, you know. Like I remember him going and testifying I think I saw it in here, actually. And he testified before Congress about it. And it was one of the things that's kind of, you don't see him much anymore. Well, he's been blacklisted because he ratted these people out. So I remember that.
Yeah, he's like a host on, what show is that? America's Got Talent, or one of those talent shows.
Still on there? Yeah.
I think so. I don't remember.
I don't watch network television anymore.
Me either. That's the problem with doing this type of stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well.
And I just put another video in chat.
Okay. All right. That's gonna mess up my windows, but that's okay.
Oh yeah. You could also bring up that one that you just had with
yeah, you were talking about
the lead singer of Metallica.
Yeah, and is there
Talking about witchcraft.
Is there a certain starting point on this one?
That whole thing is very interesting. So we could do that.
Okay.
And he does an interview with Sean Ryan. And it's just this whole clip, 16 minutes of him just talking about his witchcraft experience. But he's very vague on it because he doesn't want people to lead people into doing stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
How did she get into witchcraft?
Oh, Michelle. Yeah, so she got into this thing with Stan. She married Stan. Stan was, like I said, he was a really, really terrific guy. He was a really awesome guy. Good looking and rode a Harley. I mean, first thing in the morning, the whole fucking neighborhood vibrated, and who wouldn't want to be married to a cop like that? So, and his tour that he had to do every day was Pacific Coast Highway in Huntington Beach. That doesn't suck, right? So, anyways, he left her, and she was heartbroken, and she went crazy, and she started pursuing alternate means because God had not worked for her. The God of the witnesses that she'd been praying for her husband to come back didn't work for her. And she, I had ran away from home and I moved up to Idaho, and I was living with her and her kids in a trailer, which was awful, just fucking awful. And she went to work one day and I started playing hooky from school because my nephew had told people at the school I was a martial artist guy. And the first day I got there, I got cold cocked. And I figured I'm not going to this school because I'm not going to deal with this every day. So I started playing hooky. I figured I would run away back to home. But one day I went back into where her bedroom was, and there was a candle that was on her desk that had melted. And it had some substance in the top of it, looked like moss. And there was a picture that was burnt in half, and it was a hex to have him leave the girl he left my sister for, who was a big blonde bombshell from a bar, and to come back to my sister, who was not a big bombshell blonde. And I'll be damned if he didn't come back.
Are you serious?
He came back. He came back. So I figured, wow, this has got to work. And I saw the book. It was just a little piece of paper. It was like, you fold it in half and that's a page. And it was like a 20-page booklet or something like that. And it had a couple hexes in there. And I tried 2 of them and they both worked too. So at that point, I had to tell my wife what I had done, and we started on the journey of trying to get the oppression, the the demonic oppression that had happened to me by opening up my defenses and asking for, the Dark Prince to help me put a hex on somebody. That really fucked my life up. And it took years for us to get out of it because we were going to like San Francisco, up to Filipino priests that would lay hands on you. And I had some Indian Rajas that would do cupping and acupuncture and crazy stuff like that.
What were your hexes?
Well, one was something that had to do with the guy that actually punched me at school. What happened was we went to school that day. Excuse me. We went to school that day, and the guy walked up to me and just slugged me. And he said he was going to see me after school. Now, we rode a normal school bus to one point, and then the bus stopped and all the kids got out for a smaller bus that would take us out into the rural area. And so we stop, we get out, and everybody circles around the two of us like we're going to fight right there. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going down. So everything I'd learned up to that point, was going through my mind. And the second bus shows up, and we get in the bus, and we take off. And he's coming up to his house, and he walks through the walkway in the bus and elbows me in the back of the head as he's getting out. And I was trying to fit in, so I had a mouthful of Red Man, and I was trying to get into the whole chewing tobacco thing because that's what everybody else was doing. And when he hit me, I went, and I swallowed that shit. So I went back to my sister's trailer, and I got really, really sick. And I figured, that's it. I'm going to do something about this. So I looked through the book, and I found something that would do what I wanted. And I did that hex. And then there was another one.
What did you want to happen?
Well, I really don't want to get into it because I don't want anybody to be misled and try and figure out what I did and go down that route, because it was a terrible deviation from what was good and right in the world for me. Of course, that power's out there. Without black, there's no white. But it was just.
I disagree with that, and I don't really like that mantra. It's kind of dualistic, I don't think dualism's actually a thing. I think evil's parasitic inherently.
It is.
So,
and it's rampant in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But if you go to the chat on Zoom, and you can just click on that last video there.
All right. So you're wanting to go on to that one? Okay.
Instead of opening a new tab, just click on it. It'll
Right.
pop it up automatically.
Excuse us, guys. Sorry that the windows are all messed up, but it'll just be a moment. So we got this. All right. Okay. So, yeah, tee this video up about, again, what was it about?
So this is a channel, Nik, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but his nickname is Big Nik. And he was in the Hollywood stuff real deep, and he got out of it. And so now his channel is based a lot on outing anybody like into the Hollywood witchcraft and whatnot.
Sorry, say the last part again.
And he's big on outing, going after Hollywood and their satanic stuff.
Okay.
And like in this video, he's talking about Ariana Grande and MK Ultra.
Okay, so he's going to do CIA MK Ultra. Okay. All right, well, we will give this a whirl then.
Hollywood continues to expose itself for the demonic mess that it really is. Especially with the whole P. Diddy stuff that happened, I don't think anyone disagrees that this is a very sketchy industry. However, what we're going to take a look at today is not just mere speculation, but a confession straight from the horse's mouth. You guys probably know Ariana Grande. She's a very big singer. If you're in my age range, you know that this woman has been around since the very beginning. However, it seems like she almost made a very weird confession in this recent interview. And for those who are awake to the current agenda, you'll realize that these comments are very very disturbing. What's going on, guys? It's Nik Keswani back for another video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel today. Before we get into today's video, if you guys like Christian content, please give this video a like, subscribe to my channel down below if you are new, and turn on my post notifications so you never miss a new video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Ariana Grande recently claimed that she underwent memory erasure, leading many people to believe that she underwent satanic mind control programming. Recently at the Oscars, an interviewer asked her about an upcoming music project, to where Ariana states that she had her memory erased at a clinic in Hollywood.
Do you have a release date?
You know what? They did the Brighter Days memory erasure treatment to me, so I'm having trouble remembering the details. They're foggy because at the Brighter Days clinic they do the memory erasure, you know?
If you could remember, struggle, tell me. Give me a date. Give me a date.
You know what? I'll have to go back to the clinic and see if they can restore my memory.
Is it going to be soon?
This was a very odd statement, but for those who are awake to what's going on, we know exactly what
She's got kind of that wide-eyed look you see a lot of these guys have.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is interesting.
Nick here on his channel has got hundreds of videos like this of showing actors, actresses, singers, all in the middle of. He's got lots of stuff all over his channel. So if you're into this type of stuff, go to his channel.
Well, I remember before the internet, or at least before I was aware of how popular the internet was. Al Roker from the Today Show, I think is his name, Al Roker. Yeah, he at one point, I remember he was doing a Today interview, and then his brain just like seized up, just kind of did this weird look thing, and it was just like this long awkward pause, and it goes right back to talking, and you're just like, what in the world is that about? That kind of reminded me of that, just that sporadic, like I don't know, it's like a brain fart, only worse.
Yeah, and a lot of people think, that's part of the matrix that we're in.
Like, what do you mean the matrix that we're in?
Like, if you notice some people in the Hollywood spectrum, whatever, they pause. And, like, they freeze.
Yeah.
And nothing happens.
Yeah.
Or they make a weird face and just sticks for a minute.
Yeah.
And it's just because they went through something like what Ariana Grande is talking about.
I mean, it could be. So when you say Matrix, you just mean this mind control stuff where it's like they start messing with these guys that make a lot of money.
Yeah, and it's all part of their agenda to have fake people in front of us so we have idols to look at,
Yeah, I wonder if they select people because they're already somehow involved in whatever programs they got going, or if they grab these people right as they start getting famous. Like I guess operationally, that's like the big question I have, because I do think they do something, but I'm not sure if they grab them right as they're getting really famous, or if they grab them beforehand and then make them famous.
Yeah.
That I'm curious about. No, oh gosh, dang it. There was
or Justin Bieber.
Oh, was it Jay Dyer? It was somebody who was talking about Taylor Swift. She's clearly tied to like intelligence branches beforehand. Who was that? Somebody was saying, oh wait, no, it was on that Almost False. There was a guy talking about the Taylor Swift's connections, and that he knew she was going to go into the pop stuff like years before anybody else did, just because that's what they all do, because it's all kind of the same program. They get these starlets to start out all innocent and stuff, and then they make them basically humiliate themselves on stage to like these vulgar pop dances and whatnot.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, okay, it's clearly a humiliation ritual because they all do it, but is it just something that they do kind of like a, I don't know, ritualistic sacrifice thing? Or is it just, okay, how far are you going to go? Yeah. Are you going to play with us? Like how, are you willing to go along? Like, are you willing to be a team player? Because all this stuff, in my opinion, and this is where this cult stuff kind of interacts, I guess, is these are acts of initiation. Yeah. To get into these upper things, you have to be willing to humiliate yourself publicly and then you have to be willing to let somebody else have dirt on you.
Yeah.
And again, that gets us back to Epstein. It gets back to all this. All this is, we're going to humiliate you publicly to make sure you're a team player, and then we're going to blackmail you so that we all have dirt on each other. So we're all sure not to rat on one another. It's just like a gang. Just like a gang. But this cult stuff ties in quite nice to that. Because you can institute this blackmail racket under the guise of hedonism. So, I mean, that's kind of why I don't know if I actually buy that these people really believe the cult stuff. Oh, they'll put out the satanic imagery at the Super Bowl and all this nonsense, but I don't think they actually buy into it. I think unless Rosalind KD's right, and maybe they start out kind of, getting mad at their mom and dad, and then, gradually start believing it. I don't know if it's that. I think it's really just kind of a pretense to justify the blackmail racket.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. So far, as I've kind of been looking into this more and more, I guess. So.
And then they go so far as to where Katy Perry went.
Now, how far did Katy Perry go?
She went to space.
Oh, right. Yeah, she went to space. Did she really go to space? People were saying they faked it. I don't know if I buy that.
It's almost 100% fake.
It's almost 100. What is that? Almost 100% fake. Well, what happened?
It's considered a conspiracy theory, but
is it? Okay.
A lot of people were able to be like, no, this was totally faked. And there's videos, countless hours of people debunking that they actually did go.
So what was the point? Is it just like they're all jealous of Elon Musk launching rockets? So they're like, well, we're going to put out a video saying we went to space too.
Well,
is that what it was?
The owner of Amazon, what's his name?
Bezos. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah. It was his rocket.
Oh, so Bezos was just competing with Musk. He was just trying to show off. But he couldn't do it, so he faked it. Is that the theory?
Basically.
That's funny.
Because the aircraft that they landed in it had no burn marks on it from re-entering.
Oh, okay.
So
I don't know anything about that stuff, so yeah, I mean...
it had no burn marks. That was number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two was it was like an all-female crew. Katy Perry was in there.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to believe that they couldn't open the door from the inside. Well, the girls missed their cue and opened the door before the camera people were ready. And Oprah, I think it was Oprah, was standing there and leaned in and said something. And they closed the door back, and Bezos used a tool to open the door for them.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And it was so obvious because it was on live television.
Oops.
And yeah.
Okay.
So it's all fake and culty and terrible.
That one's kind of funny though. That's a little lighthearted. It's like, you guys pretended to go to space. That's adorable. Okay.
Maybe we could talk about that in another episode.
I guess if it's a conspiracy theory, I suppose we could. I don't know how much I care, but I suppose we could have a little laugh.
Well, that's why I didn't save anything. I was like, this is just silly.
I remember hearing about it, and I was just like, I don't care. Like, I don't care if they went to space or not, but whatever. So, okay, well, let's see what this guy has to say.
Meant by this. Many people have been speculating that Ariana Grande underwent MKUltra's CIA mind control programming, especially with the CIA's long-lasting ties with Hollywood. The CIA often likes to give Hollywood movie script advice, as well as filming location ideas, but that's just what they publicly let us know. The CIA's MKUltra mind control programming experiment...
Is it advice or orders? Just
Both.
asking. Both, okay.
Advisory orders.
Advisory orders, okay.
It was officially declassified in 1973, revealing how hypnosis and drug experimentation played a big role in altering and erasing someone's memory. Although the CIA director at the time, known as Richard Helms, ordered the destruction of most of the project's records, some documents from the program were actually salvaged in the 70s, with additional information to the public being available in the 90s. U.S. Congress actually held hearings about MKUltra in the 1970s, and in 1994, the CIA released more documents pertaining to the program, including the ones that had been ordered to be destroyed in 1973. On page 10 of the CIA documents, MKUltra is stated to be researching hypnosis, 8 sub-projects, including 2 involving hypnosis and drugs in combination. Page 35 further shows the combined use of drugs with hypnotic trance and post-hypnotic suggestion, showing that hypnosis could presumably prevent any recollection of the drug experience, making it an effective brainwashing technique to erase someone's memory. As Ariana Grande's visual appearance has noticeably declined over the years, the probability of her being subject to this programming is very real. These celebrities in Hollywood are just puppets for the devil's agenda, and the only way that the devil can advance is through secrecy. Memory erasing is usually used to make the individual forget about the rituals that they partook in, which further protects the greater demonic network from exposure of these events. Ariana Grande has openly professed to be a practicing witch in other interviews, and Apostle Paul writes in Galatians 5:19-21 that witchcraft is an act of the flesh, further elaborating in Galatians 6:8, for the one who sows to his own flesh will reap destruction from the flesh, but the one who sows to the Spirit will reap eternal life from the Spirit. Sadly, the Hollywood industry's war and rebellion against God's laws only leads them to their own destruction in the end. And if these people don't repent, Satan will continue his enslavement with them in the eternal flames to come. Pray that Ariana Grande repents and turns to Christ while she still has time, because this may be her last chance before it's too late. If you made it all the way till the end of the video, I want you to comment down below, Ariana needs to repent. If you guys want to financially sow into the ministry, I have an offering link that's in the description, and I have merch you can buy, which is also linked in the description. If you guys want...
Well, that was a very interesting comment about the mind eraser stuff. Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, like I was saying at the beginning of the podcast, I just finished this book by Jay Dyer, and it talks about the cults and the CIA, and it's all kind of interconnected and stuff, so... But it's all fine. It's all fine. You know.
Believe the experts.
Well, it's just, yeah.
And take the purple.
And take the purple. So... I cannot believe... Anyway, I don't need to get on that tangent. Anyway. Okay, well... Is there anything else you want to look up? I feel like we haven't made the connection tight enough on this case. I feel like we need to go a little further, but I need to look up something else. I don't think we've killed 30 minutes on this subject either.
I have... Let me see if I...
Let's see.
I think I have another one.
Let me get out of this. So we'll just type in Hollywood and the occult and see what comes up.
We'll see what comes up.
Because, yeah, generally speaking, Jay Dyer has some interesting thoughts on it. Oh, here's a video, a TikTok video on occult symbolism that might be good. Because apparently these people seem to think that if they're cute and put a bunch of symbols in front of people, that people obviously have no clue what they mean. Like that somehow counts as them letting us know what they're planning, and that gives them permission, even though nobody knows what they're talking about. Yet it still counts somehow.
Still counts.
Yeah, okay. So maybe that's what this is referring to.
Just mainstream music.
Good night. I need to get better at muting these things before I transition. All right, here's a TikTok video.
Even just mainstream music, I think of Katy Perry and her music videos, there's deep occult symbolism in so many of them that I just watch it back and I'm thinking, this is wild that I was watching this years before I got into the occult. Looking back, I do think there is this intrigue when you see a really successful person and they manifested it. And you can manifest your life too. It ties in the occult idea of as above, so below. And really the idea is that you're a microcosm of the macrocosm. So basically, ultimately, you are...
Well, now she's talking about New Thought. That's like
New
different.
Age, yeah.
Yeah, that's
New
like,
Age,
well, I
New
mean,
Thought.
it's all occult technically, but... I mean, New Thought's kind of, that's not what Jay Dyer and those guys mean. Like, that's, you know, New Thought's basically, yeah, like what she said, manifestation, you're a god, a little g, you know, like Napoleon Hill stuff, thoughts are things, that kind of stuff. Like, that's not really, I mean, it's like an offshoot of it, but that's not really what,
It's
what this is.
It's the beginning into the occult. It's kind of like,
It's like diet occult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go, caffeine-free occult.
It's caffeine-free occult. So it's like non-alcoholic wine. Almost pretty much redundant. So
non-alcoholic beer.
yeah. So let's see here. Unless you're not allowed to have alcohol, then I guess it's very useful. But anyway, let's see. I'm looking for examples of this occult symbolism. I'd like to try to find like a video with this symbolism in it, because apparently it counts for some reason.
Symbols.
Yeah.
There's lots of symbols on the show Supernatural.
Oh yeah, Supernatural. Well, you mean the show Supernatural has the occult in it? You're kidding. All right. Let me look up something here. We'll just go to Google Images. Hollywood occult symbols. All right. Let's see. What do we get? Oh, Baphomet. Oh, here was a good one. On Shutterstock, the eye. So for those on the podcast, you've got basically somebody puts like a loop over their eye or whatever, and then it's like, he's part of the Illuminati or something. Yeah.
And most of them that do it have no clue.
Yeah, it's just silly. I mean, it's like, okay, well, congratulations. It's almost like
symbolism.
It's almost like dumb as the Freemason thing. You know what I mean?
Oh.
You know, like what did he say? Oh, Bill Schneblin was talking about it. He was talking about how they would like stick their hand over their heart and put their hand up and go, "I'm a brother in need." Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're surrounded by guns or something, like which I think he was talking about Joseph Smith or whatever, saying a chant and doing the thing. It's like, okay, well, if you're like in Joseph Smith's situation and you're surrounded by guns and you do the handshake, even if there is a Freemason there, they're going to be like, I don't know what he's talking about, guys. Go get him. I mean, nobody's going to stick their neck out for you if you're going to die. Like, they wouldn't know. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm not seeing anything too crazy. I'm seeing upside down stars and all the usual things. But it's these Super Bowl It's these Super Bowl performances. Let's see if I can pull that up. It's these Super Bowl performances and music videos and all this.
Katy Perry's performance was terrible.
Yeah, so here's a picture of a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude. Come on, enlarge that, would you?
Not Sam Smith.
Not Sam Smith. Yeah, so Sam Smith. Yeah, sure.
Cookies.
Accept all cookies. Give me cookies. Why not? All right. So this was a little on the nose. So he dressed up with a top hat with horns. I don't know if that's just... I wouldn't call that symbolism. I would call that rubbing your nose in it. But, you know, whatever, I guess.
He definitely rubbed his nose somewhere.
You mean was it that cocaine in the White House? I wonder.
Probably.
It was Sam Smith the whole time. Okay. So we got Beyonce doing some triangle thing. And this is supposed to be involved in the Illuminati. Is the Illuminati still a thing? I don't even know anymore.
It's always been a thing. Yeah. As long as the Freemasons are around, the Illuminati will be there too.
Right. So for those who, I mean, they say the Illuminati's still a thing, but I don't really know if they are. For those on the podcast, she's basically doing a triangle with her fingers. And then she's got some weird sideways look. It's supposed to look nefarious, but I think she's checking with her handler to make sure she's doing it right.
Oh.
So,
TH in the chat said, I heard one time that Satanists tell you exactly what they're doing. To do so, no one can say they didn't know, and if you don't stop it, you are okay with it.
Yeah, right. That's I've heard that too, and that's what I'm referencing. It's basically this, I guess it's a karmic idea. I don't know. It's like God has to allow the evil to happen if they tell everybody about the evil.
Right.
But my complaint with it is it's like, well, if nobody knows what you're talking about, then how does it really count? That's a very lawyer-esque thing to do. It's like, oh, we told you about 9/11 6 months before it happened. That means it's your fault. Well, just because you did an episode about the Twin Towers on the X-Files does not mean I actually knew about 9/11. Hush, that doesn't count. But apparently that's what they believe. So, all right, let's see. Is there anything else here? There's the goat head with the star. I haven't seen that a million times.
1,000,001
1,000,001
times of fun.
Yeah, let's see. And then we got Katy Perry. I have no idea what this means. NFL's latest conspiracy. It's Katy Perry! No, I don't want immediate access. She's in some kind of weird glittery skirt thing and some demon Trojans throwing a spear at her. If there's any symbolism in that, I don't know what it is. It just looks goofy to me.
Yeah, that whole act was very goofy.
Oh, yeah? Well, I didn't see the act. Like I said, I quit watching network television a long time ago.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched a clip of it. It was bad.
All right, well, that was special. Okay, so I think we'll have to cover this in more detail later. I'm going to try to read the rest of Jay Dyer's books and try to understand this subject more, because it just seems goofy to me. And like I said it a few minutes ago, I think it's really just justifying the blackmail racket through, hedonism. They get these people in some goofy ideology to make them do stupid things, and then they record them doing the stupid things and going, haha, sell what we want now. So that's my opinion. I just think it's all blackmail rackets. I think the whole system's ran by blackmail. But anyway, okay, on that pleasant note, we have got one more section before we're done for the night. So if you are on the live stream, please stay with us.
Thank you.
If you are watching this after the fact, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.